Have you ever looked at your reflection and wondered why we are the only humans left on Earth? Today, nearly 8 billion of us belong to a single species known as Homo sapiens. But for most of our existence, we were never truly alone in this world. Imagine a planet where at least 6 or even 20 different types of humans lived at once. From the frozen tundras of Europe to the deep jungles of Southeast Asia, our cousins were everywhere. But the story of our family tree is not a straight line toward perfection. It is a messy and tangled bush filled with evolutionary experiments that ended in mystery. Some were giants who mastered fire and traveled across entire continents for over 1 million years. Others were tiny island dwellers who lived alongside giant storks and pygmy elephants. We are now discovering that some of these species did not just live near us but were part of us. Recent DNA evidence shows that many people alive today carry the genetic ghost of vanished ancestors. The definition of what makes a human is currently being rewritten by every new fossil discovery. If we define human as members of the genus Homo, the number of recognized species is staggering. Most scientists agree on about 9 major species, while others suggest there were more than 21. Our journey begins nearly 2 million years ago with a pioneer known as Homo habilis. He was the first of our lineage to master stone tools, earning the nickname of the handyman. These early tools were simple, but they changed the course of our history forever. While habilis was taking his first steps in Africa, another giant was rising to dominate the world. Homo erectus was perhaps the most successful human species to ever walk the planet. They survived for nearly 2 million years, which is almost 10 times longer than our own history. Erectus was the first to harness fire and the first to migrate out of the African continent. They reached as far as Indonesia and China, leaving behind tools that lasted for millennia. But as climates changed and lands shifted, new versions of humanity began to emerge. The Earth was constantly shifting between freezing ice ages and warmer periods. In the cold, harsh winters of Europe, the Neanderthals evolved into powerful hunters. They had larger brains than we do and were experts at surviving the brutal ice age. Neanderthals were not the primitive cavemen they are often portrayed to be in popular media. They buried their dead, made jewelry, and cared for the sick and elderly within their tribes. Deep in the caves of Siberia, a mysterious group called the Denisovans lived in total secrecy. We only know they existed because of a single pinky bone and the DNA trapped inside it. The Denisovans traveled across Asia and left their genetic mark on modern people in Oceania. They adapted to high altitudes and extreme environments long before modern humans did. While these giants roamed the continents, a strange experiment was happening on a remote island. On the island of Flores, a tiny human species called Homo floresiensis lived for thousands of years. Standing only 3 feet tall, these hobbits hunted miniature elephants and survived in isolation. Further north in the Philippines, another small species named Homo luzonensis was recently found. These discoveries prove that evolution takes many paths depending on the environment. Isolated islands act like natural laboratories where creatures shrink or grow over time. In the Rising Star Cave of South Africa, we found the bones of a species called Homo naledi. They had small brains, but their hands and feet looked remarkably similar to our own. Evidence suggests they may have intentionally disposed of their dead deep inside dark tunnels. This challenges our belief that only large-brained humans could perform complex rituals. In China, researchers recently unveiled a massive skull belonging to the dragon man, or Homo longi. He had a huge face and eyes that suggest he was well adapted to cold and rugged landscapes. Some believe this dragon man might be an entirely new branch of our evolutionary tree. The more fossils we find, the more we realize how crowded the world used to be. Just 300,000 years ago, at least 9 different human species roamed the Earth. So why are we the only ones remaining today while all our cousins vanished into history? Did we outcompete them with our superior social structures and better hunting tools? Or did we simply absorb them through thousands of years of interbreeding and migration? The answer is likely a combination of climate change, competition, and genetic blending. We are not the pinnacle of evolution, but rather the last survivors of a great family. Chance in changing climates played just as big a role as our own intelligence. The DNA of the Neanderthals and Denisovans still flows through our veins today. This means that in a way they never truly went extinct because they live on through us. Every time we study an ancient skull, we are looking at a mirror of our own survival. Our story is defined not just by who we are but by all the species that came before us. The shadows of the past remind us of how fragile our place on this planet truly is. If the climate shifted once and wiped out our cousins, it could certainly happen again. Understanding our diverse history helps us appreciate the unity of the human race today. We are a single family with a billion different faces and a deep connection to the earth. The fossils hidden in the soil still hold secrets about our origin and our ultimate fate. As technology advances, we may discover even more lost members of our prehistoric tribe. There are still vast regions of the world where no archaeological digs have ever occurred. Imagine the stories waiting to be told in the deserts of Arabia or the depths of the Amazon. Each new find reminds us that the history of humanity is far older than we ever imagined. The dirt beneath our feet is a massive library holding the forgotten chapters of our ancestors. We once shared fires and stories with beings who were human but not quite like us. They saw the same stars and felt the same fears of the dark that we feel today. We are the inheritors of their wisdom, their struggles, and their incredible resilience. The fact that we are here today is a miracle built on millions of years of survival. Our ancestors faced predators, droughts, and ice ages that almost wiped them out completely. At one point, our own species was reduced to just a few thousand individuals in Africa. We were nearly a footnote in history, but we managed to expand and conquer the globe. But we must remember that we are only one version of what it means to be human. The diversity of the past is a testament to the creativity of the natural world. From the massive brow ridges of Erectus to the tiny frames of the island dwellers, every species played a role in the grand theater of human evolution and development. They left behind the tools, the art, and the DNA that allowed us to become who we are. We are the storytellers, the dreamers, and the scientists who are piecing the puzzle together. Through the study of genetics, we can look back in time and read the code of life. As we look forward to the future, we must look back to understand where we come from. The shocking truth is that our lonely existence today is the exception, not the rule. For the vast majority of human history, the earth was a place of many different voices. We are the last of the many, the final chapter in a long and epic saga of life. By honoring our extinct cousins, we honor the incredible journey of all mankind. The path to modern humanity was paved with the bones of those who were brave enough to explore. We carry their legacy into the stars and into the deep mysteries of the future. Our cousins may be gone, but their spirit remains in every heartbeat and every thought. The world was once a place of many humans, and it is our duty to remember them all. They were not failed experiments but successful species that lived for hundreds of thousands of years. This is the true story of how we became the last humans standing on this blue planet. We stand on the shoulders of ancient giants who paved the way for our existence. Let us never forget the diverse brothers and sisters who once called this world home. Our history is a treasure map leading back to the dawn of consciousness itself. And as we keep digging, we will keep finding the truth about who we really are.